Hi, welcome. This is Lori Glenn with the pose for the day. And your pose today is going to be Ardha Chandrasana or half moon pose. So half moon's a little bit more advanced pose. It's a balancing pose. So we're gonna actually take it against the wall today because this allows you to start to refine the alignment of the pose and see what that actually feels like in your body before you take it away from the wall and start focusing on the balancing portion of it, which you might be very wobbly, and if all you're doing is wobbling, it's hard to really feel the alignment. So I like to start students against the wall and then take them away from the wall as they start to gain a little bit of understanding of the pose. So we'll start against the wall today. Two things to remember with balancing. One is to find one point to gaze on. That's your drishti point. That's going to help anchor you. By anchoring your external focus, you're able to refine and align your internal focus so that you can balance better. Secondarily, you want to remember the breath. Notice if you're holding your breath. If you hold your breath, you become rigid. You actually become less fluid and malleable, so less able to balance well. So allow yourself to breathe soft and even inhales and exhales. So those are the two things to remember. Let's take it to the back. So you can go into Ardha Chandrasana or half moon pose in a variety of ways. Today we're going to do it in a way that I find pretty simple and easily accessible for most people. So again, we're against the wall, but we're not touching the wall completely. We want to give ourselves a little space, so maybe stand a few inches, 3 or 4 or 5, depending on your body size, away from the wall. And then you're just going to take a pretty short or a narrow warrior stance. So warrior stance meaning the front foot is turned forward, so the second toe points forward, and the back foot is just turned in slightly at almost a 90-degree angle. And then you're just going to come into a little bit of a squat here. So a little low warrior stance. So now that you've got your low warrior stance, this front leg is going to be your standing leg. So you're going to reach forward, and you can have a block here. This is nice because it brings the floor up to you, and I'll demonstrate it with a block, and then I'll move the block and show you what it looks like without. So bringing your hand or your fingertips to the block, you can bring your palm down, whatever feels most comfortable, and you want that block in front of and just to the left of your front foot, your left foot, which is my front foot now. So maybe 6, 7, 8 inches in front of you, you can play with it, and then off to the side a couple inches. And then bring your right hand to your right hip right now, just so you can feel what's going on in the hip, the front of the hip bone here. And now you're going to transfer, you're going to push off the back foot and transfer your weight to this hand and the front foot. So you'll see I'll bend the back knee, push off, lift the leg up, and now I've got my weight on the front foot primarily and a little bit on the hand. And I feel like this is too narrow for me, so I'm actually going to scoot my block forward, push down on the hand, and my left butt cheek is touching the wall. So I'm going to just press the pubic bone forward and start to rotate this right hip back so that my whole pelvis faces forward. This is an open pelvis pose. Now let's pay attention to the back leg. It's strong. It's just like this standing leg. The thighs engaged, I'm reaching back through the heel, the toes are pulling forward. You may like to point your toes, whatever floats your boat. The glutes engaged, so this leg's just as strong as the standing leg. I've still got my hand on my hip so I can feel this point here of the right hip rotating open. So now the next step here would be to reach the arm up and overhead. So if you find that you're losing your balance here, the wall's right here. You can put a hand back, you can put a butt cheek back, or the foot. But you've got that stability and that safety so you can really work on your alignment here, lengthening the crown of the head forward, lengthening through the top heel back so you get long in the spine. And then if you wanted to, you could get rid of the block and just have fingertips on the floor. So this is your half moon pose. To come out of it, bring your hand back to your hip, bend the front knee deeply, and then land that back foot back into lunge position to rise up. All right, so that is Ardha Chandrasana or half moon pose. Give it a try, see how you do against the wall, and then as you start to build a little confidence and a little strength and feeling like you've got the alignment principles down, take it away from the wall and explore. It's fun. All right, namaste.